You just got wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombies. So today is Monday. Yes, it's Monday again. Can you believe it? Already another week. Wow, time just moves so crazy fast, doesn't it? Well, having a look at what's going on, it's quite a mixed day today. I mean, we have some in the green, some in the red. Obviously, give it a quick refresh. Overall market cap, we're sitting at around 139.7 billion. Yesterday, we were at like 140.6. So basically, yes, we're down $1 billion, but really in the grand scheme of things, that's really not that much movement in crypto. So as you can see here, a few interesting things I want to point out. Now, yesterday's video, I was discussing how there was potentially a chance for a big move. Woke up this morning and we're still going sideways. However, some things did change, which tells me that I wasn't 100% off, because as you can see right here, Bitcoin dominance is up to 50.7%. We've seen it steadily declining and going down and down. And all of a sudden today it's up 0.2%. Why could this be? Scrolling down here, you'll also notice that Tether is up 0.3%. You look at another stable coin, USD coin is up 0.48%. True USD is up 1.05%. Why is this happening? Well, the truth is this is sometimes what happens when investors get worried about a potential incoming dump, right? A lot of people have been saying, Bitcoin's been kind of going up and up and up. When is it going to have its little mini correction, right? So that's sort of the overall feeling I'm picking up in the market right now, moving into stable coins and also moving into Bitcoin, because we know if the market does take a dump as a whole, Bitcoin most likely will get hit the least hard, or just dollars. Right? Now, let's talk about the biggest gainers of the day real quick, because we do have some gainers. Maximine coin up another 36%, BitShare 17%, ABBC coin 12, Digitex 10, KuCoin. I wonder if the exchange coins are going to start pumping now, because you saw Huobi up the other day, right? Like BitMax and KuCoin and Huobi, all these guys having the initial exchange offerings. I wonder if the exchange coins are kind of the coins you want to get into right now. Just a thought, not telling you to go run out and buy exchange coins, but it is something that I'm looking at. We also have Wakey Chain, Golem, Tezos, 0x, Ardor, and Crypto.com again. Also up. Now, obviously, we had the Binance Launchpad CELR. Let's see how CELR's doing. Let me give this a refresh live. So it's down 16.2%. Now, you can't really count that initial sell-off, and let me just explain why real quick, because you see right here, when it just straight up falls like that pretty much happens to any coin that gets listed. It's price discovery, and a lot of times it's usually just bots buying little percentages, kind of pushing the price down. I'm not sticking up for anyone here. I'm just telling you that happens on pretty much all listings. As you can see right here, Brad said, let's call a spade a spade. The Binance Launchpad program is an absolute disaster. It's not only bad for people that are, looking to invest, but it's terrible for the company that is part of the program. Best of luck to CELR Network. Guys, personally, I don't think CELR Network is a bad project. I do think that investors get greedy. I do. And I think once they make a profit, they dump. They don't care. So I think that's kind of what's happening right now. And as you can see, look, we had that initial dump, boom, we had that little pump, and now we're going down again. So, the question is, was this the pump, or are we going to go, are we going to lower, and then there's going to be one more? Because usually it's just kind of like that one pump and that's it, right? So was this it? I don't know. You have to ask yourself that. I'm not going to give you any advice on this one. I've talked about exchange offerings a lot on the channel. You know my opinions on that. Be safe out there, guys. Okay? Now, hopping over and having a look at the Bitcoin chart, we noticed that we are getting closer and closer to the end of this wedge. Now, I honestly was thinking there would have been more massive movement, but apparently could it be the calm before the storm, Volume is still dropping off on Bitcoin, but I actually wanted to bring something up. I don't, not just always looking at the Bitcoin chart. You did notice that there were some major altcoins that kind of led this Bitcoin rally, right? The first one was Ethereum. Ethereum started rallying, and I actually have this, was above me, I think, switched over to the percentages right here. So you can really see the percentage moves, right? Now, when Ethereum had its pump that sort of started on December 17th, it had peaked all the way up here at roughly 20, we had, so it was 50, let's say 60 to 20, right? So that's basically 30%, right? So that's a pretty good move. Well, if you look at the chart for Bitcoin, what did Bitcoin do? Well, Bitcoin had the exact same move, although it didn't it didn't have as much percentage gain, right? So the question is, was Ethereum really the one that was leading the market that actually caused Bitcoin prices to go up, right? Because we know we're in a little bit of an alt season. Well, there's a theory going around that actually thinks that potentially Litecoin could actually be the coin that's truly leading the market right now. Now, look at the differences. You can see right here, everything was sort of looking the same on the charts, right? Until we got around here and blasted off. And obviously this pump that happened on February 8th also happened clearly to Bitcoin, but just not as much. There wasn't really as much percent gain. So now looking at where we are, you still have this. That's the same, right? We had that little pump right there, but look at what Litecoin has been doing. So the question is, will Litecoin actually sort of give us a little bit of a preview as to what we can expect from Bitcoin in the, sort of relatively short to midterm, right? Well, if you come over here, Mr. Chief is saying if you truly believe Litecoin leads Bitcoin in market moves, you must be ultra bullish on Bitcoin. Litecoin on top of half of Bitcoin. Here you go. So here's the chart right here. Let me just get out of the way. And you could see by looking at this that it is eerily similar. So the question is, looking at what Litecoin has done, will Bitcoin follow the same path? So I wanted to just point that out. And not to mention, there was an article from CoinDesk that had come out, and their, TA team once also said the same thing about Litecoin leading Bitcoin. So you have right here, it says the outlet's analyst desk once explained that in a previous market cycle, which saw Bitcoin plateau at around $1,200, Litecoin's trend became bullish well before that of Bitcoin. In fact, following Bitcoin's drawdown, Litecoin surged out of nowhere, posting gains in the dozens of percentage points. Then, believe it or not, Bitcoin followed, accentuating that the two assets are likely correlated. So this is just theory. Obviously, we don't, past performance doesn't indicate you're going to get the same exact results, but it is something to point out. And considering the moves that Litecoin has been making lately and what we had already seen with Ethereum driving the Bitcoin, price, will we see the same thing happen that happened to Litecoin to Bitcoin? Let me know what you think. It's a theory that's floating around, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Now, I wanted to talk about something else. If you guys had a chance to catch Anthony Pompliano's a podcast interview that he did with Mike Novogratz. Mike Novogratz actually had a lot of positive things to say as well. For example, he was talking about how he knows for a fact that Goldman, Sachs is getting involved and they're gearing up for some security tokens potentially, okay? They're not doing anything yet, but they're getting really ready and looking at all the questions, he says, figuring out how to build on it, how does it work, etc. Now, as far as talking about Bitcoin, he went on to say that he thinks that the macro case for Bitcoin is pretty strong. If you can put a couple percentage of your portfolio into it, there's a good chance that it catches wind. For example, he talks about Fidelity is getting ready, Bakkt is getting ready, even though they keep getting delayed all the time. So he says, if you look at gold, gold has a $7.5 trillion market cap. So we're 100x off on that. We're not going to get there in Bitcoin in the next year or two, but over the next 20 years, period, could that happen? Easily, he says. And he repeats again, easily. And that's giving zero optionality to all the other stuff. So if you guys want, you can check this out. It was this tweet they have here. I'll link it below as well. Now, I did want to talk about one other thing. Obviously we have a lot of perma bulls today, but Tim Draper. So we're talking about 100x, right? Potentially having 100x with Novogratz. Tim Draper says that we have a potential for a 1000x. I'm not kidding you guys. This is coming from the man himself. I'm going to just play this clip. It's about 55 seconds to like a minute. Check this out. Let me know what you think about what Tim has to say.
Here's the way I look at it. There is about $100 trillion worth of fiat currency out there.
Okay.
Fiat currency is poor currency. It's tied to political whims. It's tied to political parties. Bureaucrats control it. It's not really that good for you. And all of the new best, brightest engineers are working on cryptocurrencies. And so my belief is that over some period of time, and I don't want to go into it in too great of depth, but over some period of time, the cryptocurrencies will eclipse the fiat currencies. So So we're looking at about 1,000 times on what we've got now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last question.
So 1,000 times on what we have now. That would put the market cap at well over 100 trillion, right? So that's what he said. So I was curious about those numbers. I had a look at it. So it seems like for the most part, 80 trillion, 90.4 trillion. It seems to be that is the amount. Now I searched for 2019. It seems like most of these were done in 2017 and 2018. So I actually think we could have 100 trillion at this point. Also, having a look at our good old trusty market watch chart, you could see the overall cryptocurrency market right here, which even though the numbers are a little bit off, they're actually getting closer to being more accurate now that the overall market cap has gone up. So you can kind of actually still use this chart relatively accurately. So scrolling down here, you can obviously see 807 billion, world's biggest companies, stock market, 73 trillion right there. Narrow money, 36.8 trillion, 90.4 trillion in broad money. Okay, so there's your answer right there. We're not going to get into global debt, but if you want to, you can. You can get into real estate, 217 trillion, and then derivatives, forget about it. I mean, this thing just goes on forever. Yeah. I mean, so yeah. Oh, and then they point out, oh, by the way, that's Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin, right? So, I mean, in that case, is it possible? It's possible, but that would assume that literally all money in the world got replaced by cryptocurrency. But according to Tim Draper, we could have 1,000x. Let me know what you think about that. I don't know. That's a pretty crazy number. I'd love to get excited over it, but maybe we could just work on breaking the 4K mark and then kind of work back to the 5K, 6K mark. But, we'll get there eventually, guys. We'll get there eventually. But you have to take all predictions with a grain of salt. I mean, for example, even if you just come over here to digitalcoin.com, they were looking at the price of Tether and said that the projected price of Tether will be $5.15 by the year 2026. It's clearly a stable coin, guys. But before we get on, this is totally random. This just made me laugh. So you know how BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes, he said that he was predicting Bitcoin was going to go to 10,000 by the end of 2019? Somebody commented and they said, why does he always look like he's taking a poop in the woods and just spotted a bear that just spotted him and he's in that split-second decision trying to decide whether to freeze or flee?
Got him! Got him!
So, yeah, I don't know. That made me laugh, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Gotta have a little bit of humor on the channel once in a while. And also, kind of serious, I wanted to ask you guys a question. Do you own one Bitcoin? And if not, why? I know a lot of people say that it's because they can get bigger gains on some of the other coins. Yes, but you can also get a lot of bigger losses on some of the other coins as well. It's very risky, right? So Rhythm Trader says, welcome to the top 0.22% of the world's population if you do own a Bitcoin. Only 17 million other people will ever have as much as you. And he's referring to that because we know there's a portion of them that are lost forever. We have had such true scarcity until now, and because of that, it's a concept that's hard to grasp. We've never had such scarcity, right? So I think that you need to consider with 7.4 billion people in the world, why not just own one? I know, you want to make bigger gains, but I almost want this to be financial advice, even though I know I legally can't give financial advice. But why not just own one? Just set it and forget about it. Put it on a cold wallet, bury that wallet in a box or I don't know, do something with it so you don't touch it. I just think that the opportunity to own just one Bitcoin is not going to be possible eventually at some point. So I just figured I'd just kind of bring that up again, guys. Now, really quick, hopping into some coin news, I wanted to talk about, we have China's Institute cryptocurrency rankings again. These guys, the CCID, whatever they are. So apparently EOS, still number one. Okay. So, number 2 is Tron. Number 3 is Ethereum. Number 15 is Bitcoin, and I don't have the list on me, but apparently it also includes tokens like Ontology, Wave, Steam, Neo, XRP, Stratus, Bitcoin Cash, and IOTA as well. Also, eToro just came out and said that they are adding support for Tron, and their reason being is because according to Maddie Greenspan, Tron has been one of the most highly requested cryptos from clients looking to trade it on our platform, so we're very proud to provide it today. So ask and you shall receive. Also, to note, they have over 100 million registered users, so there you go. More exposure in general. Now, this is a little bit of a story, right? So I want to like kind of ask the question about what's been going on with Russia, because there was a story that came out. Everybody was excited. We thought that Russia was going to be, they were going to be spearheading the next Bitcoin bull run. And now it seems like maybe they're taking a different stance. So if you guys didn't have a chance to check out my video on Russia potentially sparking the bull market, check that video out above if you're interested to know a little bit of the backstory to it. But now we have something else that's kind of developed. Let's get into this. So Russia has started developing an alternative to the Belgium-based SWIFT global payment settlement network, which we know what SWIFT is, right? Obviously, this is what XRP and XLM and all these other guys, or CELR, right, are trying to, sort of take over and provide a better solution. So they were working on something back then when they were trying to get around their sanctions. So you had the central bank governor confirm the development of a system later, adding that it would nullify the risks of Western sanctions. One of the proposals did rounds, and they were referring to this as potentially the creation of the crypto ruble, which would have been a Bitcoin like blockchain asset. However, the Duma didn't mention anything about their state-backed cryptocurrency in their latest hearing that they just had. But apparently, they've pushed back their plans of consideration of a bill to recognize and regulate digital financial assets. Now, we were really excited about this. So initially, it was scheduled for March 22nd. Now, it's going to be held at an unspecified time in April. So the interesting thing, too, is that they've been very cautious about the controversy of the terminology now. So you're seeing that they've specifically edited the bill to remove terms such as cryptocurrency, smart contracts, tokens, right? So this is weird. So the question is, are they changing their stance? This is in line with Russia's surprisingly cautious position on cryptocurrencies, which has been seen repeatedly as obviously they've just really been dragging their feet to really provide any sort of regulatory framework. Now, I want to go back to this article that came out last year. Now, this came out, I believe it was June. And you can see right here, Putin had said, in most countries, cryptocurrency is not a means of settlement. The central bank of the Russian Federation believes that cryptocurrencies cannot be a means of payment, settlement, or store of value. These currencies are not secured by anything. He even touched on cryptocurrency mining, stating that it's not regulated by us, but we treat it very carefully. So, he hasn't really been one to come out and just straight up slam them, right? Now, the first time that he ever brought up Bitcoin was back in 2015. And unlike most people that just were, bashing it right straight out of the gate, just bashing it, right? He actually said that Bitcoins are backed by nothing. This money is backed by nothing. That's the point. This is the major problem. They are not really linked to anything and backed by nothing. Well, we know that's not really true because Bitcoin sort of is backed by, the mining and the electricity and the time and the consumption but that's for another day. However, he did say as an accounting unit, these coins, or whatever they're called, they can be used and their adoption becomes wider and wider as some kind of unit in some account. Now, this is a direct quote from the original article that came out that was saying Russia's billions could trigger Bitcoin bull run next month, which it clearly didn't do it by the month. But you had even seen the NEO Competence Center in St. Petersburg said it received a letter from the Russian Association of Cryptocurrency and Blockchain. And if you actually go over here and you scroll down, you can actually verify this and actually see right here, sincerely, the president of RACIB. Okay? So I don't understand this. It's just really confusing to me. So let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, as far as this whole Russia thing, it's just kind of weird. I thought they were real positive about it. Now they're kind of taking a negative stance on it, but I don't know. Not negative, but just kind of like a neutral or not really important. We're not really going to make these terms pop out, on the paper. So really crazy. Just wanted to bring that up to you guys. Just want to get you guys up to speed on what's going on about that. We also have Augustus Carson's, whatever his name is. He made a speech at the Central Bank of Ireland on Friday, and he said that central banks today are not seeing the value of venturing into the unknown when it comes to issuing a central bank digital currency. As such, could bring fundamental changes to both financial stability and the monetary system. He's kind of poking jabs at JPM and what they were doing with their coin, right? Now, we know that the whole idea of these central banks, their key role is adjusting interest rates, controlling the circulation of money, etc. So depending on the state of the economy, the central bank decides on its benchmark interest rate, the rate of inflation, rate at which cash is distributed, etc., right? So the concerns of critics towards central bank crypto assets is that central banks may not be able to demonstrate or exercise a similar level of control over money when the monetary system moves from a cash-based to a digital currency-based system. So they're going to lose control, apparently, right? Now, I just want to point out real quick, because I don't really like to entertain these topics that much, but as the Bank of Finland research paper on economics of Bitcoin once stated, Bitcoin is a monopoly run by a protocol, not by a managing organization. Familiar monopolies are run by managing organizations with discretion to determine and then change prices, offerings, and rules. Monopolies are often regulated to prevent or at least mitigate their abuse of power. Bitcoin is not regulated. In fact, it cannot be regulated. There is no need to regulate it because as a system, it is committed to the protocol as is, and the transaction fees it charges the users are determined by the users independently of the miner's efforts. Okay? Boom. Hence why people like, you watching and myself have clearly found such interest in these types of systems. And honestly, even like Eric Voorhees said, now that he was replying to Larry Lawmaster, he said, the narrative that central banks in developed economies haven't been doing a good job is completely wrong. Central banks have mandates. Most include maintaining price stability by keeping inflation at around 2%. Low controlled inflation is great for the economy. He said, do you realize that monetary inflation is theft and thus hiding behind the defense that theft is kept below 2% per year is still pretty slimy? Exactly. Now, I don't want to end on some negative news. I do want to end on something positive. So we have Japanese cryptocurrency exchange. I think it's Tao, formerly BitArg, will start trading a limited range of cryptocurrencies in May. So it is 40% owned by a subsidiary of Yahoo Japan, which is pretty damn cool. And it's initially going to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, with margin positions available in 3 additional cryptocurrencies. And those are Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP. Now, I want to say thank you so much for everybody coming back to the channel. And if you know what we do on Mondays, we give away ledgers. So it's ledger giveaway time, guys. So basically we had 7 videos last week. So what we're going to do is we're going to start Monday's video at 1. Sunday's video would be 7. Okay. So out of 7, here we go. Now let's generate that random number. 3. So that would be Wednesday's video. All right. Now let's go back over here. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the real reason Bitcoin's price won't budge. That was a good video. Now, turn myself down, come over here, and we are going to pick a winner for the ledger. Hopefully you guys remembered to actually stay to the end of the video. Probably should have said that in the beginning. I kind of forgot. So we had 359 unique comments that day. We are going to pick a winner. So drum roll, please. You always have the best items. I love it. Mini Cetera. The best items? What do you mean? Like videos and stuff, or like giveaway stuff, like best items? Well, this was a pretty cool item. So you won Mini Cetera. You know what to do. You have 2 options of getting a hold of me, and only 2 options because I do not do giveaways in the comments. I only do them live. So you can either go right here to the Telegram, okay? And join. You don't have to join the Telegram. You can literally just go and just get a hold of me. I'm an administrator. Or you could send me an email in my About section. So that being said, thank you so much for everyone that's come back to the channel, everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys freaking rock. Today's Monday. Back on the grind. Let's have a look. What is Bitcoin doing? Oh, it's Ethereum. Not much, guys, not much. Pretty boring day. So keep your eyes peeled. Look at what Tether's doing. Look at what the stable coins are doing. Notice if the Bitcoin dominance is just going up a little bit. And as usual, definitely be safe out there. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys freaking rock. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, and also hitting that bell notification so you can get updated as soon as these videos come out. I love you guys. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.